When I went to school, the lady teacher, Miss Mdingane, asked, "What is your name?" I told her my African name, Khodislas. She says, "No, I don't want that one. You must have a Christian name." So I say, "No, I don't have one." She says, "You are, from today, you are going to be Nelson."
In a world gripped by injustice and inequality, there emerged a man whose unwavering spirit would defy the chains of oppression. This is the extraordinary story of Nelson Mandela, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. From his humble beginnings in a small South African village to his rise as a revolutionary leader, Mandela's journey was one of resilience, sacrifice, and triumph. Join us as we delve into the depths of history and witness the indomitable spirit of a man who fought for freedom, justice, and the power of unity. This is the epic tale of Nelson Mandela, a symbol of courage and the embodiment of the human spirit. The young boy sat on the beach, watching the waves crash against the shore. He was born into a world of oppression and inequality, but he dreamed of a better future. His name was Nelson Mandela, and he would one day become the first black president of South Africa.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence against a government whose reply is only savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people.
Mandela was born in Mvezo, South Africa, in 1918. His father was a chief, but he died when Mandela was very young. Mandela's mother raised him and his siblings on her own. Mandela was a bright and curious child. He excelled in school and was accepted to the University of Fort Hare, one of the few universities in South Africa that admitted black students. At university, Mandela became involved in the anti-apartheid movement. Apartheid was a system of racial segregation that enforced white supremacy in South Africa. Mandela and his fellow activists fought for equal rights for all South Africans, regardless of their race. In 1944, Mandela co-founded the African National Congress, ANC, the oldest and largest anti-apartheid organization in South Africa. He quickly rose through the ranks of the ANC and became one of its most prominent leaders. Mandela and the ANC fought against apartheid through peaceful means for many years. However, the South African government refused to give in to their demands. In 1961, the ANC launched a sabotage campaign against the government. Mandela was arrested and charged with treason. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Mandela spent the next 27 years in prison, most of them on Robben Island, a notorious maximum security prison. Despite his imprisonment, Mandela never gave up hope. He continued to fight for the rights of all South Africans. He also became a symbol of hope and inspiration for people all over the world. In 1990, Mandela was released from prison after the South African government agreed to negotiate with the ANC.
Nelson Mandela will be released on Sunday, the 11th of February, at about 3 p.m.
Viva Mandela, viva!
He was immediately hailed as a hero. Mandela led the ANC to victory in the first free elections in South Africa in 1994. He became the country's first black president, and he served one term in office. As president, Mandela worked to unite the country and heal the wounds of apartheid. He also worked to improve the lives of all South Africans, regardless of their race. Nelson Mandela was a remarkable man who dedicated his life to fighting for justice and equality. He is an inspiration to people all over the world. Freedom fighter, prisoner, moral compass, and South Africa's symbol of the struggle against racial oppression. That was Nelson Mandela, who emerged from prison after 27 years to lead his country out of decades of apartheid. His message of reconciliation, not vengeance, inspired the world after he negotiated a peaceful end to segregation and urged forgiveness for the white government that imprisoned him. As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison, Mandela said after he was freed in 1990. His defiance of white minority rule and long incarceration for fighting against segregation focused the world's attention on apartheid, the legalized racial segregation enforced by the South African government until 1994. Mandela's legacy is one of peace, reconciliation, and hope. He showed the world that it is possible to overcome even the most difficult challenges through courage, determination, and forgiveness.
I would like it to be said, here lies a man who has done his duty on earth. South Africa.